My first introduction to poker was back in middle school when I would stay up late and watch my dad play online. I played a few times in high school and a handful of times in college before moving down to Miami, Florida in 2016. I would train personal training clients in very wealthy neighborhoods in Miami, and in between sessions, I would sometimes play poker at a nearby casino. In 2018, at the age of 26, after just a few months of playing 1-2 no limit, I decided to quit my job and pursue becoming a professional poker player. It was tough, it wasn't easy, I went broke multiple times, I was at rock bottom before finally learning the game and starting to win. I continued to play 1-2 no limit for about a year or so before trying to push myself to play bigger stakes. I would take shots at the local 2-5 game, and at first I got completely crushed. I couldn't seem to win. I lost a lot of money, but I kept at it, I kept grinding, and eventually I started to build up an actual poker bankroll. In 2020, right after the pandemic, I started playing 5-10 no limit, and I decided to make a poker vlog on YouTube. Now 3 years later, I've been grinding hard. I've made it to the biggest stage in televised poker, Hustler Casino Live in Los Angeles, California. Today, I'll be playing a massive game, risking $35,000. I'm excited, but I'm also extremely nervous as well. The anxiety of playing in front of tens of thousands of people has really hit me as I take my seat, but I've been preparing for this moment for 5 years. I'm ready. It's go time. Let's get started. My main goals when playing on these live streams is to 1. Have fun, 2. Give action, 3. Play big exciting pots, and 4. Build relationships and make new friends. In this video I feel like I hit all 4 of those points. I also play some crazy pots. Make sure to stay all the way to the end of the video. It gets pretty crazy. Alright, first hand here, I decided to put on the double straddle under the gun. So the blinds are 10, 20, 40. I put on the 80. Sashimi raises it up here to $200. Nick makes the call. Third blind makes the call, and I complete for 120 more with a king 4 offsuit. Flop comes out 10 high, action checks all the way around. Turn gives me top pair. I decide to bet. Only Nick makes the call. River is another diamond. I check. Nick checks back, and we lose this one to king jack. Moving along to the next hand, where it starts out with a lot of $40 calls. 4 calls in front of me before I look down with a small blind at a very powerful hand, ace-king offsuit. I bump it up to $500 here, a lot of dead money, a lot of call-happy players, and Sashimi now 3-bets me in the third blind to $2,000. Action folds back over to me. I started the hand with a little over 200 big blinds, holding ace-king, facing a 3-bet to $2,000. What should we do?
All my chips.
Snap call.
One time.
Wow.
I have it.
That's not good news.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna do one thing.
Probably, yeah.
I 4-bet jam and get snap called, and just like that, I'm playing an $18,000 pot on Hustler Casino Live. I decided before I got here, I'm just gonna run out the board one time for Max Payne. I have no idea what she has, but I guess she's probably got jacks, queens, aces, kings, or ace-king. So when the flop comes out king high, I'm feeling pretty good about my hand. Turns a complete brick, deuce of diamonds, shouldn't change anything at all. And the river cards, the 8 of hearts, I've got top pair, top kicker. I show my hand and Sashimi nods her head, goes to muck her cards, and then slow rolls me and shows pocket kings for top set.
Slow roll. Got him.
Oh my god, what a cooler.
She slow rolled you?
Yeah, that's okay.
You were warned about that.
It's okay.
Billy, she's doing it again.
Good. Love slow rolls.
So, right?
Yeah, she did.
It's okay. I'll get it back.
Oh, that's dirty.
Is that an Oriental thing or what?
No, that's you.
Only me and him.
Okay. Yikes.
I'm not gonna do it to you.
Could be worse.
You may be thinking to yourself right now, Lex, isn't slow rolling for an $18,000+ pot all in pre-flop on a live stream bad poker etiquette? And yes, I would agree with you that slow rolling in an $18,000 pot all in pre-flop is bad poker etiquette. However, Sashimi and I played on Max Payne Monday just about a year and a half ago together, and on Max Payne Monday, slow rolls are actually encouraged. But today's Thursday, it's not Monday, and actually slow rolls are kind of frowned upon in this game. But it's not her fault. I think she just got her days mixed up. You can't blame her. It's pretty hard to figure out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Either way, the only thing we can do now is rebuy for another $10,000 and try to get it back.
That was sick. Vlogger Pro got slow rolled.
Okay, guys. Wes is 10 behind.
Hell yes.
It's also nice to know that the commentator's at least on my side.
Technically, her cards hit the muck, right? I think we
It's
chop.
not the next big Monday. I'm not.
Oh, you see when I chop?
We've now gotten to the point in the game where we're playing the stand-up game. I'm sure you guys all know the rules of that, and unfortunately I have not won a hand yet. I'm actually heads up in the stand-up game against Hillary. The loser pays $200 to each player. Only 2 players left, me and Hillary. She decides to call $40. Francisco calls $40. Julio calls $40, and I'm in the cutoff with the smallest pocket pair you can get dealt in. I decide to bump it up here to $400, hoping to just take this one down pre-flop or go heads up in position. Hillary makes the call, basically because she's got to. Francisco folds. Julio makes the call. We go 3 ways to King, Jack, Deuce. Bottom set for us. All right, not too bad. The action checks to me. I bet out $600, and I get called in both spots. Turn card 6 of hearts doesn't change anything. When the action checks to me again, I size up. I make it $2,400 back over to Hillary. She's in kind of a tough spot here. I could be trying to bluff her with the stand-up game going on. She knows if she folds, she's going to lose and have to pay out $200 to each player. Eventually, after thinking for a little bit of time, she decides to jam all in.
She's all in for 400 more.
Call. Once or twice.
Once. I always go. I'm going once the whole day.
Well, that you're, I mean, drawing the.
Lexo
nice hand.
fast rolls.
Nice hand. Oh, even. Nice hand, Lex.
Thank you.
This win was actually pretty bittersweet. Hillary and I are really good friends off the table, so it sucked kind of taking her money there and also now making her pay the stand-up game. However, Nick, Wesley, and Sashimi decided to pay out the stand-up game bounty for her, so they end up giving $200 to each player. Nice on them, and now we have around a $13,500 stack. Fast forward now, Hillary opens up the action here on the button with ace-8 suited to $240, folds to me in the 3rd blind, and I look down at queens. I decide to 3-bet here to $700 out of position, actually a pretty small sizing. The reason I go smaller here is because she started the hand with less than 100 big blinds. With pocket queens, I'm wanting her to call here with basically 100% of her range. If I make it too big, she might be folding out hands that I want her to call with. And she does decide to call for $700 total, so we're out of position here. Heads up to King, King, 6 rainbow. Not my favorite board. She could have a king, maybe pocket 6s, but I feel pretty good about my hand. I c-bet for 410 because I'm not a pothead. Back over to Hillary here with ace high. She has a decision whether she wants to call, fold, or maybe raise. And after thinking for about 30 seconds, she decides to jam all in.
Everything.
Uh-oh.
How much? 2,000-ish?
There are no draws available. That's problematic for Lexo. It's only 1,900 more. That's problematic for Hill. There's the call.
You're good.
One time. Go.
One time it is done.
Give her an ace or running kings for fun.
Oh, how many? Oh, we didn't.
I'll do it twice with you.
Okay, we'll go twice.
Okay.
That's okay.
An 8 or an ace.
Let them go twice.
One. No, it's not. I understand. That's not going to be
How great is Hillary?
Go ahead, Lex.
It's not over.
We actually have a small issue here because I said I wanted to run it once, and then on the turn Hillary asked once or twice. I decided to change my mind for her and run it 2 times because she's my friend, and now the floor has to be called.
Fine.
Really a friendly game.
I don't care. I just was going to do twice with her.
They both agree. Go.
I'm fine with whatever she wants. If she wants twice,
Yeah.
twice. That's fine.
We do run out the board 2 times. Hillary does not improve. We end up getting 6K shipped to us. We are making a slight comeback here, sitting on around $17,000. I'm in the game for 20K, trying to grind back to even. As you can see in my right hand, I decided to drink on this stream just to kind of calm the nerves and also add that aggressive factor. If you guys have watched my previous vlogs where I decided to drink, I kind of turn into a different poker player when the alcohol is flowing. Old Lex gets a little feisty when he gets tipsy. Next up, Francisco limps in for $40 with a suited connector. I'm on the button with a beautiful Jack-8 offsuit raised to $200. Washburn makes the call. Francisco makes the call. 3 ways to Jack, 3 deuce, 2 diamonds. Top pair for me, bad kicker. Surprisingly now, Francisco leads into me on this flop for $400. With top pair, medium kicker, only option here is to call, which is what I eventually do. Turn card pairs the board, we're now heads up. I'm expecting Francisco to slow down and check here a lot of the time, but he does not check. He continues now for an $800 bet. When Francisco limps pre-flop, bets this flop and bets again on this turn, I'm completely bluff catching here with Jack-8. He should have hands like Ace-Jack, King-Jack, pocket 3s, a deuce, but his hand doesn't make too much sense. I'm not sure if he would play those hands in this order. I feel like he would try to check the flop or trap, maybe even raise some of those hands pre-flop. So I feel like here with Jack-8, given the fact that there's a lot of flush draws and straight draws available, I gotta look him up one more time and make the call. Big pot brewing here, going to the river, over $3,000 in the middle, and it's the King of Hearts. Not my favorite card, an overcard to my pair, but all the straight draws and flush draws miss. Action now on Francisco, who bet the flop, bet $800 on the turn, and now continues on the river. Third barrel for $2,600. Man, tough spot for me. I've got second pair, bad kicker. I'm losing to all sorts of hands. Ace-Jack, King-Jack, pocket 3s, a deuce, pocket deuces. Slow played aces. I just don't know if I can make the call here with second pair.
He knows what this is.
Guess we chop.
I guess we chop.
Yeah.
He knows exactly what the pro's doing right now.
Good call.
Max hang time.
After about 30 seconds of replaying this hand history, I decided there's just no way I can fold my hand. I make the call and we are correct. We pick off a bluff and now our stack is up to $21,000. We got stacked right off the bat, lost 10K. We rebought and now we are actually winning on the session. Speaking of getting stacked, in this hand we try to get our revenge against Sashimi. I got pocket queens now again in the hijacker raised to $200. She 3-bets me to $550 here on the button. Back over on me. I feel like this is a pretty standard 4-bet spot, but I felt like on the button she was getting pretty out of line. She was definitely capable of double, triple barreling, betting big on the flop, turn, and river, so I decided to slow play here with queens and just make the call. Sometimes it's good to play a little possum against aggressive players, let them do what they like to do and bluff. Well, on a flop of ace, king, queen, we could win a huge one here, or we could be getting cooler. She can have aces, kings, we do have third set. I decided to check over to her, and she bets the minimum here in this $1,200 pot. She makes it $40. I can't stand for that. I've got to raise.
80.
Oh shit. 80. Okay, I bet 40. Then I call.
Just a little bit of live stream theatrics here. I would never play this way. If it wasn't on a live stream, I min raised to 80. She calls. Turn card, I decide to set the trap again and check, letting her bluff, but she checks back. River ace, giving me a full house. I got to go for value now against a king, a weaker ace, or an under pair. I bet out $400.
It's a chop. Here, take it.
Oh, you're good. I got nothing.
King, are you sure?
No, it's good.
No, you throw me.
No, it's good. King's good.
Okay.
King's good.
Ah! Wow!
Small pot.
I took the base deal.
I only did that because you slow rolled me earlier.
Well, it may have only been a $2,000 pot and not an $18,000 pot, but take that, sashimi. Slow rolled, hell yeah.
Okay, now we're even? No?
We even.
No, one more.
One more. Yeah, that was small pot.
The table seemed to enjoy that slow roll, especially Wesley. And speaking of Westside Wesley, we haven't played a hand with him yet, but that is about to change. Hillary calls 40. Wesley raises in the cutoff with 5-3 suited. I 3-bet now to $900 with Jack 8 of hearts, and Wesley makes the call. So we're heads up here in position, $2,000 in the middle, and flop a really nice hand. A straight flush draw for us. I bet out small, Wesley folds 5 high, and we win. Fast forward about an orbit, we're doing a $100 straddle round. The game has been bumped. DJ Washburn raises it up here to $300. Under the gun +2, Julio makes the call in the big blind. I have ace-10 of diamonds in the third blind. Given the fact that DJ's been playing a lot of hands and Julio called in between, a lot of dead money in here, I decide to bump it up with a 3-bet. I make it $1,700. Like I said before, my goal is to play big pots, play exciting poker. I 3-bet big. DJ Washburn gets out of the way, but Julio makes the call with only about $5,000 left in his stack. The first step in playing a big pot is to raise big. Check, we did that. The second step is to smash the board, which we do not. King 7-3 all spades, a pretty ugly board for me, but I do think I can c-bet here. I think he's going to have some worse ace highs than me, some Broadway cards, maybe some smaller pocket pairs. So I decide to bet 1,000. He jams all in, and I fold.
I can't take this back, right?
I guess Sashimi maybe felt a little bit bad from that slow roll because she offered to buy me some drinks. I had already been pounding some beers throughout the stream. I say, yeah, let's get a shot. So she buys me 2 green tea shots, which comes back orange. I don't know how that happened, but I am definitely loosened up now, ready to play. Speaking of loosening up, $100 straddles on. Francisco calls, Julio calls. I'm on the button, which is the best position in poker, and bump it up with 10-6 offsuit to $610. That's right, 610 to 610. DJ Washburn comes along with a call with 4-5 offsuit. Julio calls, and we go 3 ways to an ace-high board, but I do hit second pair.
Green tee shot, tell you. It's very important. It's telling me I should bet.
With second green tee shot in hand, I decide to bet $700. DJ folds. Julio comes along with a call. The turn hits 2 pair for us. It does bring in 7-8 for a straight. Julio can definitely have that hand. He checks to me. I size up to get value from ace-x hands or possibly pair plus flush draw hands. I make it $2,300, and he makes the snap call here. Going to the river, $8,000 in the middle, and it is a 3. Now, this is an interesting spot. Once he checks over to me, if I bet here, it could be a little bit thin. He shouldn't have ace-jack, ace-queen, ace-king because he didn't raise pre-flop. He could easily have a better 2 pair than me, ace-9, ace-10, ace-6, ace-3, but I think he might consider raising on the turn if he did have those hands. So I feel like in this spot with 2 pair on an ace-high board against a player who might call me light, we just got to go for it and shove all in.
River card.
All in.
Quick check by Julio and a quick all-in by Lexo. He's been rewarded for his alcohol consumption and his gambling.
Okay, he didn't snap call. That's good. Jeez.
As you can hear, I was a little bit worried about value owning myself here against a better 2 pair, but once he doesn't snap call this river bet, I know he doesn't have me beat. He must just have a weaker ace. He thinks for a very long time. Julio has been playing very solid this session. He hasn't gotten out of line, hasn't made any big mistakes. He's in the game for $10,000, only down about $2K, which is nothing for this game, and eventually he does find the disciplined good fold here with ace-7, and we take this one down with 10-6. In this next hand, I get put into the blender. $100 straddles on. DJ raises to 100. Julio calls. I finally have a real hand here and squeeze up with pocket jacks to $1,700, the same sizing I used with ace-10 of diamonds just about 30 minutes before. DJ does call now. given the fact that he's got a suiting connecting hand. And we go heads up here, out of position to a king high flop. I did c-bet a little bit too small on this board. I made it $800. I'm not sure if it was the liquor or the lights or the cameras or the fact that I don't ever really play poker this big, but I bet too small. I think I should be betting more like 12 or 1300. But DJ comes along with a call with 10 high, and the turn's a bad one, ace of spades. I don't think he's going to have too many ace-x hands. I'm probably going to have more ace-x hands, but it's another overcard to my pair, so I slow down and check, and now DJ Washburn fires out a $3,000 bet. A big bet here. What should we do with pocket jacks? 3-bet pot, 2 overcards. Should we fold or should we call?
It's a real crazy way to think and play.
I think Lexo at the beginning of our show would have folded by now. He knows this doesn't make a lot of sense.
The commentator is correct with his assessment that I don't really feel like he's going to have too strong of a hand here, but the more I think about it, he can have a lot of ace-x hands. Ace 3, ace 4, ace 5, ace king, ace queen, ace jack, ace-x of diamonds. He can also have some bluffs as well, some diamond flush draws, some spade flush draws, maybe some smaller pocket pairs that I'm beating. But in this particular situation, I feel like if I call here and then face a huge bet on the river, I would just be punting it off, calling down with pocket jacks. Although I don't believe him, I don't feel like he has me beat. I feel like I just got to let this one go. This game is very good. I can easily find a better spot later on. So I decide to fold the pocket jacks, and DJ Washburn gets his bluff through with aggression. He takes this one down with 10 high. We're getting close to the last hour of the stream. I am very lubed up now with some green tea and beers. I call a raise with 8-3 of clubs in the third blind, go 5 ways to a good flop for 8-3 of clubs. I flop a gut shot and a flush draw. Given the fact that we are so multi-way on a board that should favor my range, I decide to lead out here with a blocker bluff type of bet. I could be doing this with 2 pairs, sets, and straights. All the other players fold except for Francisco and Julio, so we're in position now 3 ways, turn 5, giving me a straight right away. When they check to me, I am obviously going to keep betting here. I most likely have the nuts. I make it $1,200. Francisco gets out of the way with his queen high flush draw, but Julio makes the call. I put him on 2 pair here, so we're looking for a clean river, and we do get it with the queen of diamonds.
Check.
All in.
On him?
Oh, Lexo.
Kind of playing up the
Call.
drunk guy image, getting max value.
Nice hand.
Well done.
I go all in. Julio calls with 2 pair. A pretty sick hand there. I do win over $7,000 in this pot, now sitting with a $26,000 stack. One of the biggest stacks I've ever had in poker. Pretty sick, but don't you guys worry. The action is still heating up. We got some big pots yet to come. Somewhat of a simple yet still fun hand here with Francisco. When he limps from early position, I raise hijack to 200 with pocket 7. Sashimi calls on the button with king 5 suited. Francisco calls. We end up checking here on an ace-high board. Turn 10. Action checks all the way around again. River queen. Francisco leads out for $200 now. And I feel like he'd be betting bigger if he had a jack here for a straight. So I decided to turn my hand into a bluff and raise here to $700, and it works. When he folds a queen, we take down this small pot.
Going on here, Lexo is going to turn his hand into a bluff, and it should work.
Thank you.
Oh, 7! 7 what?
Oh, wow.
It's a black one.
Horse property, big.
Jack
This
7?
guy plays better with booze. I'm just going to go ahead and say
And
it.
there's a par.
Francisco raises in the cutoff to $240. I get way out of line here on the button and put in a 3-bet with jack 6 suited to $700. This is pretty much a punt. I mean, it's not terrible given the seat positions and the player dynamics, given the fact that I'm on the button, but I get immediately punished when Ray actually wakes up with a real hand pocket queens. Cold 4 bets to $2,200. Francisco actually folds his ace king, and I'm forced to fold my jack high.
Is Lexo playing in both seats?
Lexo has seat changed. I've never seen that before on our show.
Nice hand, Ray.
Thank you.
Lexo's getting a little out of line out there. He's getting a little
That was
frisky.
bluffing.
Lexo's in 2 seats.
Just so they can see.
Yeah.
Lexo gets 2 hands.
Yeah. David Tuckman and Norm
Sorry? I was trying to make a move.
will open.
The very next hand, I have ace-5 suited this time, a much better hand than jack-6 of diamonds. I raised to $200, get 3 callers, so we're 4 ways, and DJ Washburn bets $40 in the dark. Well, that's not going to stand when I flop 2 pair on an ace-5-8 board. I raised to 300 and he makes the call. Turn ace, giving me a full house right away, running hot in the end part of this stream. He checks, I bet 410 and he makes the call again. River card 3 of diamonds, bringing in that flush. I'm pretty sure he just has an 8x hand, a 5x hand, maybe a smaller pocket pair. Probably doesn't have a flush here very often. So I bet a size that he can call with those hands, $630, and he does call. We win around $3,500 here with a full house. Like I said, things are heating up. Jack-6 of diamonds was on the button. Cutoff, I had ace-5 of spades. Now hijack, I have pocket 6s. Raised to 200 again. Nick Vertucci makes the call. Hillary makes the call. Queen 5-6, a set for us. They check to me. I bet 180. Only Hillary makes the call. Heads up now. 9 of diamonds on the turn. I size up bigger, $730. Leaving myself with an easy jam all in on the river. As you can see here, a cold deck. Hillary turns top 2 pair versus my set. She thinks for a little bit of time. She only has $2,400 left in her stack, and I feel like this is a spot where she could jam or she could just call. She elects to call, so I'm thinking to myself, probably going to go all in here on the river, and when the jack of spades comes out, I feel like we have a pretty easy decision.
In this,
I
for
have
Hill.
to go all in.
Why?
I can't.
Why do you have to go all in?
Because my hand's too strong.
Really?
No one wants to
I don't
stack
think so.
I
her.
don't want to collude, but I'm just saying.
I don't think so.
Props to Hillary for not snap calling here. I think a lot of people would be snap calling this bet, but she goes into the tank and starts thinking, to be fair, I could have some hands that she's beating. I could easily have 5-6 for 2 pair, 6-9 for a worse 2 pair. I could even have aces or kings that might be taking this line. I could have some bluffs, but I'm probably not bluffing here very often. She's losing to some sets and straights and bigger 2 pairs, and eventually she does call. Rightfully so. I have to show her the bad news. Set of 6s. We win another big pot. A bunch of chips pushed in our direction. And our stack is now up to $30,000.
And talk. She's right behind you, baby.
I wanted the orange, the cara, and the coffee.
It's impossible.
Lex, you seem stressed. Can I also have a coffee?
You know what's not a good mix? Slamming a bunch of drinks and then trying to stack up slippery poker chips. I just can't get my motor skills to work quite right here, and I'm having trouble stacking up all these chips, which is definitely a good problem to have. They actually have to call the floor over to help me stack up my chips. A little embarrassing, but I'm having some fun.
2,000.
2,000.
Lexo's.
I haven't bluffed yet.
Can't believe I'm getting trolled by Peter
fold?
Pan.
That's a bluff.
What the hell's going on, man?
Best not a bluff. For sure.
The floor man was nice enough to help me color up my chips just in time for the last 2 hands of the night. With some fresh 1K chips in my stack, a little bit easier to manage now. $100 straddles on. Nick wakes up with 10-5 suited in the cutoff, raises to 330. Wesley's in the small blind and 3 bets now to $1,300. The action's now on me in the 3rd blind, and I have Queen Jack offsuit. I think to myself, this could be a good spot to put in a 4-bet bluff squeeze. Nick should be opening up wide in the cutoff. Wesley should be 3-betting wide out of the small blind. So I think this is a spot I could bump it up, turn my hand into a bluff, and try to take this one down pre-flop.
Look at this.
Hello. That's too much.
3.
Oh, right to Nick.
Yeah.
Nice hand.
Lexo 4-betting the Queen Jack offsuit,
I haven't played poker in months. That's what happens, Leslie. I need your help.
taking it down.
Always nice to get a 4-bet bluff through. The very next hand, we get into another interesting spot when DJ Washburn raises +1 to 300. Nick calls, and now Francisco in the small blind 3-bets to $900. I wake up with pocket 8s here now in the big blind, and I have a decision to make. I don't really like to cold call 3-bets out of position with players left behind me. However, we are very deep stacked here. I have 30,000, Francisco has 30,000, DJ Washburn has 30,000. I could fold here, but that seems nitty. I don't really want to call, so that leaves one option. I decide to cold 4-bet again, back-to-back hands. I make it $2,300. My thoughts here is that if everyone folds, that's great. I take down this dead money preflop. If Francisco calls, I can go heads up here in position in a 4-bet pot against him, which also seems pretty great. However, that is not going to happen when we run right into it. DJ Washburn just calls here with his pocket queens, and then Francisco sticks it to the both of us when he jams all in for $30,000. Unfortunately, I'm forced to fold here with pocket 8s. I tried, and DJ Washburn actually lets go of his pocket queens. He makes a great fold, and Francisco takes this one down. That pocket 8s 4-bet ended up being the last hand of the stream. I got crushed right off the bat. Stacked by Sashimi, slow rolled, came back in the game for $20,000, slamming some drinks, and ended up finishing with a $29,000 stack, playing 37% of hands to profit $9,870 on this 5-hour stream. The game does continue post-stream. A couple new players come in, buying for heaps. I end up raising some hands, calling some raises, 3-betting myself, and unfortunately I don't win any pots, and I end up losing around $2,000 from my peak. And about an hour after the stream, I decide to call it a night. $27,000 cash out for me, my second ever time playing here at Hustler Casino Live. I had a ton of fun. Thanks for having me, guys. I can't wait to come back. Well, that was an extremely sick session at the poker table, playing Hustler Casino Live for the second time, 10, 20, 40, sometimes 100. I was right away in the game for $20,000. I got stacked for 10K right off the bat. Ace King to kings, king high board. I got slow rolled as well. I was down 10K, but I kept fighting. I kept drinking. I finally started coming back. I made some sets. I made some hands. I clawed all the way back to even, made some more hands. And then that last hour of the stream, it was kind of all a blur. I was drinking some green tea shots. I was drinking some beers. I was playing a bunch of hands. I was making 2 pairs, straights, sets, full houses. It was pretty awesome. I ended up cashing out for $27,000 plus, so a $7,000 profit. It was a really, really fun time. I got to meet DJ Washburn, got to play with Nick Vertucci, got to play with Francisco, who I've been watching for a while, Wesley, who is extremely popular, got to play with some other players as well. It was a really, really fun table. Everyone was really cool. Everyone was nice. The dealers are amazing. The staff here at the Hustler Casino is amazing as well. I just have a really good time playing here. Obviously, it helps whenever you win money, but it was cool. It was a lot of fun, and I hope to come back. Maybe in a couple months I'll play back on the live stream, but I was definitely feeling myself. Those green tea shots, those beers were hitting, and I was feeling good. I don't normally play like that, but hey, you know, when the when the alcohol is running through your veins, you loosen up the range a little bit. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'm going to sober up just a little bit and to make sure I'm good to go to drive home here in the next 20 or 30 minutes. But I hope you guys enjoy this one. Please like, comment down below, and subscribe. It helps grow the channel. Share this to your friends. Commenting helps push out to other people on YouTube, and hopefully we're back here on Hustler Casino Live within the next couple months. And yeah, that's it for this one. Until next time, I'll see ya.